Tracy Scott asks, if you're not able to absorb certain minerals, then you have to balance minerals that helps with allowing the heavy metal to detox naturally. Am I understanding this properly? So Tracy, to word it a different way, minerals and metals compete with one another, just like if I put nails and screws of the same size in the same bucket, you would have to take a minute to be like, is this a screw or is this a nail with your hand, right? So you have to, just like you have to differentiate between these things, your body is trying to differentiate between minerals and metals. And if I asked you to build a house and I didn't give you enough screws and I gave you nails and I forced you to finish it, what would you do? You would substitute nails for screws, and the house would not be as good as if you'd used the screws where they were a better fit or fastener for your problem. And so when you give the body back the minerals it needs, it pulls the metals out and discards them because it does want to do that naturally, and it can, but it can't get rid of metals when it's trying to hang on to minerals, because all these porting systems that it has for pulling in minerals and pulling out metals, the minerals and metals are close enough in structure that it really can't tell the difference in states of nutritional depletion.
And what I would add to this is that I think it's a good throughway to ask this question.
Yeah.
How does the detoxification system actually work at rest, right? And if we look at it, detoxification is basically controlled by your antioxidant enzymes, your metal binding proteins, your hormones, and then like the liver and the kidneys and the skin. And so when you balance your minerals, the antioxidant enzymes, the hormones, and the metal binding proteins are all mineral dependent. So you're upregulating those molecules massively by mineral balancing. And it actually is a way to improve your body's own detoxification systems at rest, so you don't need to take chlorella or zeolites or do very harsh chelation protocols either.
On that note, another question we have: what do you use? This is from Sharon. What do you use for heavy metal detox? Real chelators or herbs? So Sharon, I will tell you that personally, I buy some kind of parsley, cilantro, organic, of course, when I go to the grocery store. And then I chop that up, put it in little Tupperwares, and I will sprinkle that on almost all my food over the course of the week, because those herbs have some nice detoxification qualities, as do many of our medicinal herbs, things like sage, thyme, oregano. A lot of those have positive effects on your body's ability to detox, as do some foods, like, for example, grapefruit upregulates certain detoxifying enzymes in the liver. But the problem with this is that it's not as simple as just, we got to add some parsley and we got to add some cilantro, and we got to, like, I've seen people who were adding lots of parsley and cilantro and eating, this and that and the other thing and whatever, have ridiculous levels of metal toxicity. So it's not just a simple matter of pouring those into the system. And you got to remember that I think personally, based on my experience and what I've seen in the literature, I think you can only get these heavy metals out of tissues where they've basically been stored away by the body to keep you safe from them, with the right minerals that will then help you pull them out. And so I'm really skeptical of anyone claiming that they're going to do great heavy metal detox without first understanding the mineral systems of the body. And so I don't use IV chelators. I'm sure there's a place and a role for clays and zeolites and whatever, but you get a huge problem with these products, because what is zeolite? Like, if I farm or whatever, mine zeolite in, the glacial melting, I don't know, like the highlands of the Himalayas, it's not the same zeolite as if I get it from, I don't know, Utah. So which zeolite are we talking about? How is it prepared? Guys like Andrew Kaufman, I actually really respect what he's doing with his shilajit. He found somebody in the Rocky Mountains somewhere who actually gets the shilajit right off of the mountain, rather than settling for some product that, for all you know, is, I don't know, really terribly contaminated with heavy metals from some terrible country with lots of pollution. Anything you want to add to that, Clark?
Yeah. It sort of goes to the last point that I was talking about, which is that mineral balancing equals metal detoxification. That actually is the most powerful and important biohack for metal detoxification that exists. It's kind of a, in the theory, and it's a very conceptual topic, right?
Right.
But it goes back to, what do we use for metal detox? How do metals bioaccumulate in the first place? Through mineral channels and transporters via ionic mimicry. And so the mineral balancing is a tremendous buoy on the detoxification systems and directly antagonizes the metals in the tissues. That's really what mineral balancing is doing in the tissues. It's it's actually causing metal detoxification much more powerfully than any sort of chelating agent or herb. If you wanted to use something on top of like the mineral balancing, I think the most important biohack outside of the mineral balancing itself is the use of the near infrared sauna. The sauna is basically that Brian Richards,
that sauna space, yeah. Which again, I have a great interview with him on that on my channel.
Yeah, it's I see consistently massive results, not only when people are doing the mineral balancing, but when they integrate the use of that sauna every day, and they do it strategically, the metal detoxification that I see is just tremendous.